Everyone, how are we doing today? Don't act too excited now. It's 11 o'clock. We are the Great Lakes Timber Show. We're based out of Escanaba, Michigan. The UP, eh? I know my southern drawl doesn't do that A justice, but we're going to try real hard for you. We just came from the State Fair of Ohio. We were there for 12 days. Currently, we have 3 crews on the road. I'm here. We got a crew headed to New York and another one in Michigan. Our boss, Mr. Bruce Belanger, that's his character right there, started the Great Lakes Timber Show in 1985. He, like myself, got our start from the late great Hank Peters Lumberjack Show. That show was in existence for 65 years. In our travels, we've been on WGN, Fox and Friends, ESPN. A few years ago, Bruce and myself were filmed by MTV down in Kentucky, Pikeville, Kentucky. They filmed our show, and then afterwards they told us we both had a face for radio. For the next half hour or so, we want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy. If you see one of us doing something you really like, you are allowed to throw your hands together. We're going to show you what went on the days of yesteryear in the old woods and what goes on in the modern woods today. I'm Zach Eisen. I go by Lumber Zach. Yeah, I'm not a lumberjack. I'm a lumber Zach. I'm from Batavia, Ohio. And this is the nice show because I get to go home at night. Don't stay in the motel. I can't do this by myself, so coming all the way out of here from Muleshoe, Alaska, Miss Jessie Peters. Let her hear it, folks. All right, so we got a lumber Zach and a lumber Jill. So what we're going to do, I'm going to take that chainsaw and make a wood carving for you. So here we go.
Will be at 5 o'clock, and then the seating at 7. Tony Hill and Blackwater will be.
All right, I want you guys to notice that Zach, before he gets started, he's wearing all of his safety gear. Gear protection.
Well, that's something for y'all. How about some early American furniture, little chairs carved by a chainsaw? Ah, the excitement almost unbearable. Wow. Well, let me tell you about these chairs. Back in 1985, Bruce started the Great Lakes Timber Show. The first show he had was the Oklahoma State Fair. Back then, the Oklahoma State Fair was a 17-day fair. He started carving these, giving them out as souvenirs, and by day 2, the adults started to whine. The kids loved them. So, this one lady in particular came up and said, "Bruce, I didn't get a chair, I'm mad at you, I want to buy a chair." He says, "No, lady." He says, "I'll give you a chair." But he took her idea. He figured if he carved these chairs, sold for $1 a piece after the show, kids would have something to remember the show by. So he started carving. He figured at the end of the 2-week fair, if he had a couple $100, that'd be expense money, you know? At the end of that 17-day fair, he had $1,850 in his pocket. He'll tell you, he hates these chairs. Not really. He likes to give them out as souvenirs. But the real deal was, a friend of mine was log rolling for him, and he said it was more like $2,000. See, the part that Bruce never tells is the Cinnabon booth was right around the corner. So he was dipping in the till with a sweet tooth. So, what we're going to do, anybody got a birthday out in the crowd today? She's got a birthday? Wow. How old are you? 11. There you go. Get a chair. Okay, very good. Let's hear it for our birthday girl, 11 years old. Any adults celebrating the anniversary? Who's there? Where? Up there? There you go. Take one up to him. She's not here. What'd you leave her at home in the kitchen? Okay, that guy in the Reds cap. Okay, we got the anniversaries. Anybody celebrating a recent divorce? There's a hand went up back there. Give her one. She puts her hand up. She deserves it. Okay. Any out left, just pass them out as souvenirs. All right, all right. How about a big round of applause for our friends who got chairs? All right. Now, I will tell you this. If there's somebody out there emotionally scarred, possibly going to go into a deep state of depression because you did not get one of those chairs, I want you to come see me personally after the show. I'll let you fill your pockets up, all the chips and sawdust you can carry. All kidding aside, I do have a few carved I sell for the same price, $19.85, $1, and I will sign it and make it absolutely worthless. I also have another special gift out there for $1 a piece that I sign and make it also worthless. So, with that being said, who'd like to see some axe throwing? All right, all right. Well, we'll tell you a little bit about it. Axe throwing. We throw double big cruisers axes. They have to weigh at least 2.5 pounds. They have to have a handle of at least 24 inches in length. They can be heavier, they can be longer. We throw from a tow line that's 20 feet away from a target, where the target, the bullseye, is exactly 60 inches off the ground. You hit any part of the bullseye, you're awarded 5 points. Then 4, 3, and 2. In actual competition, there'd be a 1. In actual competition, I'd step to the line, and a judge would say to me, does it count or is it practice? Well, our boss, Mr. Bruce Belanger, did not like those rules, so he's developed what he calls the optional throw. Like I said, we'd have to declare it. So the first throw, we'd say, is practice. So if I said practice and I throw a bullseye, it don't count. So with the way he's done it, the optional throw, we step up, we throw it. If we like it, we keep it. If we don't like it, we got the option of throwing again. I tell you what, he's just so slick. Now, normally when 2 people are throwing, I divide the crowd in half, have 2 cheering sections. But guess what? I'm the only one throwing today, so you all get to cheer for me. How's that sound? Don't get too excited now. Okay, now I will tell you this. We live in the greatest country in the world, and don't forget it. And part of the reason that's the way it is about what I'm about ready to tell you. This is the most serious part of our show, and I take my hat off, and I ask, do we have any active or retired military personnel, police, firefighter, EMT, first responders, truck drivers, farmers, nurses, or teachers in the crowd? Raise your hands. Raise your hands. Get them up, folks. Give them a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. We live in a free country. Their service is what's kept it that way. You know, I've often been told, you never badmouth a farmer with your mouth full. It only took a pandemic for us to realize how important the American trucker is. And if you enjoy your freedom, you thank a vet. I say that wholeheartedly. That's right. Now, last public service announcement I got is this. I love to hear cheering. But remember this, it's not wise to fool a man with an axe in his hand. Okay, who wants to see some axe throwing? Yeah. Who wants to see a bullseye? Yeah. So do I. That was a 3. So now take a wild guess what that probably was. My optional throw. That's right. Here we go. That wasn't good. Here we go again.
I think that's a bad piece of wood.
Do you know how hard it is to come here and perform after being at an all-you-can-eat breakfast buffet? Let's see what I can do.
How many option throws?
Would you believe I actually threw this thing this morning and stuck it? Let me see. At this point, I'm forgetting the score. I'm just trying to get a good stick for you guys.
You're going to win it.
You're pretty quick because I'm the only one throwing.
They kept it. They got the chain over.
Like I said, I'm going to try to get a good stick for you guys. You know, some days you're the windshield, some days you're the bug. Right then I was showing you I was the bug. Axe throwing is one of those things. Some days you're on, some days you're off. Today, getting ready to go, I was definitely not on. So I promise you my axe throwing will get better, so you got to come back and see another show. Hey fellas, we didn't leave when you came in. Okay, we're going to move right along. As I said, for about a half hour, we're going to show you what went on the days of yesteryear and what goes on in the modern woods today. Back in the day of yesteryear, the lumberjacks did not have big chainsaws. They did not have feller bunchers. They did not have skid steers. They did not have major highways. They did not have semi-trucks. They had simple tools. They had their wit, and they had a few extra things such as the waterway. They used oxen. They used mules. So, they had a few simple tools. I'm going to tell you about a few of them right now. If you've seen our show before, please don't yell out the answer. I like for people to get an idea about this. I always start out by asking, does anybody know what type of saw this is? This is an antique ice saw. This saw was used to cut ice out of lakes and rivers in block form, haul it on an insulated wagon to a cave, a cavern, or a well-insulated ice house. And then in the summer months, those blocks of ice were used for refrigeration purposes. Kids, if you want a cold glass of milk to go with the peanut butter and jelly, where do you get it out of? Come on, kids, yell it out. Huh? The fridge, right. People my age and older, the forerunner to the refrigerator is known as the ice box. That's right. So, I've got 3 different types of axes here. I'm going to tell you about one of them right now. It's the old-fashioned single bit axe, most popular axe of all time. This was used by the settlers to cut the trees down, take those trees, they cut them up into timbers, use those timbers to build their homes, their barns, their fences, what have you. After that being done, they still had to plant their crop, but not having a plow, guess what they used? The axe. They drove it in the ground, created a hole, dropped the seed in, stomped it into place. Who'd like to plant 40 acres that way? Not me. Okay, this saw right here, this is an antique single buck peg and raker. It's got 2 pegs to do the cutting, a raker to rake the chips out. This handle here, what's good about this handle, if I'm out in the woods working by myself, using it like this, and somebody comes up, I simply take this handle off, put it to the other end, see that hole in the other end? And that creates a 2-man saw, 2-person saw. So that way 2 people could work. And lastly, talking about the old tools, the old-fashioned pike pole. The pike pole was used by the lumberjacks on the river drive. On the river, log jams would occur. They would have to break those log jams up by getting out on the logs, balancing themselves, taking a pike pole like this, and breaking up the log jams. Now, if they slipped, it could be their death, because there'd be thousands of logs in the water. If they went under, they might not come back up. So this implement right here has more technology at the time than any of these other tools together. Here's what it is. The lumberjack has to steady himself, so he jabs it into a log. Remember, if he slips, it could be his death. Here's the technology. It will not come out. But with a simple twist, it comes right out. The technology was done for the lumberjack by the blacksmith at the logging camp. It's called a knurl, a simple twist on the end of this spear, and that was technology that could save a lumberjack's life. Okay, this is a little bit of our past, a little bit of our heritage. If you'd like to know more about it, public library, local historical society, or even that modern thing called the computer. Okay, what we're going to do now, we're going to bring out the old-fashioned crosscut saw. Back in the 1800s, saws like this cut millions upon millions board feet of timber every year. These saws like this is a bargain basement when this one's only worth about $1,000. Ones like this that are used in competition today start at about $3,500 and go to about $7,500. Folks, that's a saw without a motor. This is a peg and raker, got 2 pegs to do the cutting, and the raker rakes the chips out. Now, this being a peg and raker is mostly for softwoods. Anybody know how you tell a softwood tree? That's a needle tree. Hardwood, they have leaves. They make a saw for hardwood, and that's called an M tooth. Anybody want to take a gander why they call it an M tooth? Because the teeth look like the letter M, right? Okay, so we got a fellow going to help us out here, going to help pull this saw with Jesse. His name's Trent. I understand he's even running for board of directors here. Come on over, Trent. Give Trent a round of applause. Okay, now they're going to show you how this works. Okay, hold up right there. Whoa, 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 right there. Now, in a competition, they are allowed to sink the teeth. You see how long the teeth are? The teeth can be sunk all the way into the wood like that. So, I was glad you were able to come out here, but I tell you what, so far I'm not real pleased with what's going on. My axe throwing stunk. I wasn't real happy with that carve. And now what we're going to do a demonstration. Is that what you have in mind, a demonstration? Now, I know it doesn't, because we got to do something for this great crowd. You know, you people are the best crowd we've had today. That's right. So what I say is this: for you good people, I'm going to take these 2 on with a 1-man saw. Who wants to see it? We're going to have a race. Okay, that's right. 2 against 1. Doesn't hardly seem fair, does it? I'll make it fair. You want to know how I'm going to make it fair? I'll slow down for you. Okay, let me get my 1-man saw. Oh, here it is. This is a one-man saw unless you want to hold the other end. No? No? Okay, well, I got you on a technicality. So what we're going to do, I'm going to take that chainsaw and take you two on in a race, one time through. I got to ask, who's rooting for Jesse and Trent for that crosscut saw? Who's got that smart money? Me and that steel chainsaw right there. Wow, tough crowd. Funnel cakes are up that way. Let me get my safety gear on. We're going to get ready to go.
Hey, you got a big pocket. But already, they just started. I mean, us at home, yeah, the one by
Okay, here we go. What I'm going to do is start that saw. Then we're going to have a race. I'm going to go like this. 1, 2, 3, and you're going to yell go. Let's try it. 1, 2, 3, go! Hey, I'll tell you what, you people are quick. A few weeks ago, I was south of Mason-Dixon. I had to take 5 minutes out of the show to explain that. Okay, let's try it out. Well, by all mathematical calculations, the modern day chainsaw should beat the crosscut saw. Wow. Well, I tell you what, I'm not very happy about this at all. Did you sharpen that saw before the show? You did. What did you use? Glue. I think it's more like a hammer. I'll tell you what, folks. I've got my own saw tucked away out back there that Hammerhead's not touched. Would you guys grant me a rematch? Who wants to see a rematch? Okay, it's part of the show. It's going to happen anyway. I'm glad you agree. Go ahead and get your teeth sunk in there. I'll be right back.
No harder than they're doing.
Hey, Jesse.
Yeah.
I found my saw.
Well, bring it up here.
You want to know what kind it is?
What kind is it?
It's Australian.
Why is that?
Because they keep it out back. See, look at it, just like the other one. Got a bar and a chain, same color. It's what took so long. I had to give it a coat of paint. What are you staring at?
What's that big thing?
This right here, ladies and gentlemen, since we're in Southwest Ohio, this is a Southwestern Ohio turkey call. That's right. You'll even pull in them Hoosier turkeys out of Indiana. What?
But does it work?
Does it work? I got you two out here with it. Okay, folks, this thing's very loud. You got little ones that can't cover their own ears, you want to cover them for them. You got sensitive ears, you want to cover them. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a big round of applause for Jesse and Trent? They worked really hard for you. Trent, we got a little something for you here. That's called a beaver biscuit. It's high in fiber and tastes absolutely terrible. Take that right back here. Now, let me tell you a little bit about this saw right here. This saw right here, you can't buy at the Walmart, Kmart, Lowe's, or even Menards. This is a fully customized racing saw. It's got a race bar, race chain, extra strong handle. This thing's been bored out, stroked out, and a few other Alps I can't begin to tell you about. The turkey call attachment is actually an expansion chamber that works like a supercharger to give it a whole lot more horsepower. This saw runs on high octane gasoline, about 108, with an alcohol mix. But, after it did its tumbling act there, but, sir in the front row right here, you noticed it didn't start in the first pull, right? He's got a keen eye, folks, I'm telling you, a keen eye. I'll tell you why. We couldn't put alcohol in it because this is an alcohol-free zone, so I had to put O'Doul's in the tank. The hot saw, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Now the big question is, who wants to see somebody get wet? Yeah. Great, we need a volunteer. You sure you don't want to try it? You want to try it? Who you with? Where's your folks at? Well, I gotta have permission for your folks. Anybody else want to give it a go? Well, yeah, it's hey, easy, buddy. It's our show. Anybody else want to give it a go? Okay, well, we're going to get this ready to go, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about log rolling first off. As I said earlier with the old tools, they didn't have super highways. So the lumberjacks would cut timber all winter long. Not like today, they cut timber all year now. Back then it was in the winter. Why? No snakes, no ticks, no mud, no poison ivy. Everything was frozen. They cut the logs to length, pile them up down by the river, and then when the spring thaw would hit, they'd kick them in the river for a river drive. Okay, so along the way, as I was saying before, log jams would occur. The lumberjacks would have to break up those log jams by getting out there with their pike poles and physically breaking them up. One day, 2 lumberjacks came back into camp bragging on all they'd done. Next thing you know, they're ready to fight. Well, the boss said, you fight, you lose your job. So, with that being said, what they did, they took a log out to a slow pool in the river, created a few simple rules, and they settled their differences at the logging camp with burling matches. And those rules are, you cannot cross center line, you cannot touch your opponent. You can say naughty things about the opponent's dog, you just couldn't use naughty words. You can bounce up and down, change directions, bob and weave. You can splash it. And still on the books today, you can't spit tobacco juice in the other person's eyes. Now, if we had another person, it'd be a good thing for them because Jesse's quite the closet chewer. Anyway, normally we have 2, but we don't have 2, we got 1. So Jesse's going to give you a go and let you see what it's like to log roll on that log. That log right there is an 18-inch Western red cedar log, very buoyant, very rot resistant. You might be wondering why the carpet's on it. Well, she only has gym shoes on. We don't wear cleats in these tanks. The lumberjacks back in the day had boots with 1/4-inch cleats on the bottom. So, we're going to see what she can do. Are you ready?
No.
You're not ready? Well, we got some good water in there for you. So, here we go. Going to get out there and show you a little log rolling. And ladies and gentlemen, that is no easy task right there. On that log, up on top. Let her hear it, folks. She's working really hard for you. Whoa! And she gave it a turn. Now, might not seem that significant, but normally, most log rollers roll over one shoulder and roll over the other. Very few can switch sides. Okay? So, you're going to come back in. What's up? Where'd the water come from? Oh, the local fire department brought it. Why? Okay, a fish. Wow. Okay. She's going to give it another go, folks, and see what you can do. Being from Muleshoe, Alaska, she's used to having ice on the log and it turning a lot slower. Let her hear it, folks. No easy task. Staying on her side of the log, watching the other end, keeping that balance. And it is harder to log roll in a tank because the waves go out, hit the walls, and bounce back. Natural water, they dissipate out through the way there. Staying up on that log, ladies and gentlemen. Let her hear it. Oh, wow. All right, all right. Give her another round of applause, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are the Great Lakes Timber Show. We'll be back at 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock today. Thank you for your time and your patience today. If you see a friend out there, tell them to come see us. We plan to have a better time each show. Thank you very much. Enjoy your day at the Antique Machinery Show. Bye-bye now.